In other words, cheers. Willkommen, meine Damen und Herren, to our cheese tasting of the week. Did that sound pretty good? Really?
Yeah.
Well, in other words, welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to our recap of the tour of the Alps. I'm Gina. I'm here today with Christina and Sarah. Rachel behind the scenes tonight, helping us out to talk about our recent Veni Voyage Alps tour.
Yes, the greatest adventure I've ever had.
Your first adventure overseas,
yes,
right?
Yes, it was amazing, and I hope we encourage some people who haven't been to go because it was a dream. It was amazing.
So great. I'm so glad. Yeah, it's such a beautiful part of the world.
Yes, absolutely, absolutely. So, I don't know how we're going to talk about all of this in just an hour, so we'll just get right into it.
I'll start nudging you when it's like, okay, guys, time to wrap
Yes. And then on Tuesday we did this, and then, So, okay, so for those of you who don't know, Venissimo does offer something called Veni Voyages, where they go stateside and international, and you just explore regions and explore cheese, do fun activities, all sorts of fun stuff. And so I was fortunate enough to go to the Alps. We went to Germany, Austria, Switzerland, and I can't say it.
You can say it. Liechtenstein.
Okay, yeah.
Pretty good.
Okay.
For wine. We just really had to stop off for wine.
It was a quick,
Liechtenstein for wine is what I was thinking.
Yes.
I always have that picture, I remember.
Yeah,
right?
We're going to see it again. So, let's talk about what's on the plate, and then we'll get into it.
I can walk on people around.
Our model here will hold the plate. So, oh dear. Top left corner is Challerhocker, and then it's these long triangles here, and then right next to it over in this corner is going to be we have two Appenzellers. We're going to try Black Label, and then there's a silver label down here on the bottom right corner, and then we have a Bavarian cheese spread called Obatzda.
And very well.
Yes, and then we have some German style sausages. We have summer sausage and
Landjägers.
Yay! Cool. And then, of course, it wouldn't be a fromage with friends without a million accoutrements. So, so this jam here is actually a plum, cherry, and horseradish that we tried in Austria. We made it ourselves.
So cool.
It's not as hot as it was in Austria, but it's very close. And then we have a German mustard with a bunch of herbs in it. And Germany's really big on pickled stuff, so we have some pickled zucchini, bread and butter zucchini. And then, what else we got going on? Oh, and we have a street waffle, which is a little fun, like European cookie. And then we have some Arcona almonds for crunch, and then dried apricots and pears, which you should be able to identify. And, for our Obatzda spread, there's going to be some radishes and onion, and a cute little pretzel on top. It might be soggy, but it looks really cute.
You can call it a soft pretzel.
It's a soft pretzel.
And then we have the little pretzel rolls, right?
And then you should have gotten pretzel rolls. And you were supposed to get something fun that I dragged through 5 different countries, brought through customs, dropped in the airport, made my honey bring an extra bag to carry, and it was very busy yesterday, and they were lost and forgotten. And so it's okay, but if you really want one, you can come by the Delmar shop and pick one up anytime. I will have them here for you.
Yes, and Rachel's going to be fielding questions on YouTube, and you don't have to have a YouTube account, FYI, to ask questions. If you really would like one of these blow-up Appenzeller wheels, black on the front, silver on the back, which we'll be tasting, send Rachel a little YouTube message, and actually I'll transfer them down to Mission Hills as well.
Cool, perfect.
So and if you could pick it up next time you're at Mission Hills, we'll have some there.
Yay! And what are we drinking, Sarah?
Here, this is called wine.
She's so good.
Right? I'm really
amazing.
Have you seen The Office where Michael Scott's like, I'm a wine connoisseur. This is white wine.
Yes, this is a Gruner Veltliner. It is a traditional Austrian wine. It has lots of flavors of citrus. We were trying to explain the flavor. It's like sweet and sour and a little bit herbaceous, so the savoriness in there too, because I don't love a sweet wine, but this has like the perfect balance of the sweet and sour from like the grapefruit, a little lime zest in the nose, but it's just a super easy drinking wine. It's going to pair really well with all the fattiness of the cheese and really cut through the funk that we have with the Swiss cheeses we tried later.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's great for fondues.
Oh, yeah.
Raclettes,
Yes.
which we'll get to.
Yes.
We drank this every day.
Yeah.
Every day. And it was so delicious. So Gruner Veltliner, and how does the bottle look?
Oh, yes.
It's a good, beautiful bottle too.
Oh, I wanted to read too. I was reading the back, and it says that the label, it has a bunch of writing here, a tiny, small, another language. I can tell you what it says. But it says that it has an excerpt from the oldest wine law dated in 1309. So a tribute to the long tradition of making this kind of wine.
Okay.
cool.
Very
Yeah.
cool.
This
I
is new
like
to
it.
the shop. We really like it. We're going to keep getting it.
I like it. I do.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, guys. So feel free to start eating, and I think what we're gonna do is we have like a little fun slideshow. So we're gonna talk about the trip from the beginning, and then we'll get more cheese details when we get to day 4. So let me just set the scene. We'll go through day 1, till day 3 really quickly, and then we'll do that. So yeah, do you wanna?
You want the video?
Yes. This is
Yeah.
one of the main reasons I think people love to go to
That sold me.
Austria
That's why I went.
and the Alps, especially during September.
Here we go.
This is a
Oh wait,
traditional.
ring the bell. Ring the bell.
Oh, yes.
You want to bear the
This
audio?
is a mini one, but
Now ring the big one.
Ring the that.
this is the real size one.
Or bigger.
Or bigger. We
Or
don't have bigger.
Yes. So this is the cows coming home. We were in a small village in Austria, and there's this thing called transhumance, and it's basically the migration of the cows going up the mountain in the spring and then coming back down in the fall. So they're eating the freshest, greenest grass during the spring and summer, and then that starts to get cold, and it's time for the cows to come home. And it's a huge celebration, and it's a sight to see. It's amazing.
That bell is huge.
Describe, that size
Oh my
of that
God.
bell.
It's much bigger than this.
yeah.
Oh, yeah.
It's like bigger than this wheel. It's
Way bigger than
and you
this.
hear the sound, and it's really cool. So when the leading cow, which is called a, what is it called? A kazoo. How do you say this word?
Okay, hold on.
Kranska?
Oh my god.
We didn't.
Oh yes. Oh, the Kranzkuh.
Oh, Kranska. I was close. Anyway, so that's the leading cow. They'll have a big crown on, and then all the cows wear the giant bells, and that is to ward off evil spirits as they come back into the valley. And it's kind of sad, but if a cow comes down, the leading cow, without a crown, that means a cow had passed away during the season, which is really sad. But
And luckily we didn't see much of that.
so that was
good.
And I think it's beautiful that they do something to honor, like a fallen soldier or something like that.
Yeah.
I think that's really beautiful.
I mean, they take pride in these kua, the cows, and look how healthy they are. It's crazy, right?
Yeah.
We'll get to it. We heard, because you see, they're eating this beautiful grass all summer long. These are freaking happy cows.
Yes,
Is all we can say. And that sound of cows was everywhere, right?
Yes.
Every valley, you just heard the tinkle of the bells.
Yeah.
And you just knew
You
there
just
was the
knew.
cows. Or sheep.
Yeah.
Sheep.
Oh, and sheep. Yeah.
Yeah.
They wear bells too.
They wear the little bells too.
Oh,
Yeah.
Much
You can
smaller.
hear them on the yeah. And then all the cows will come down, and different villages have their own parades. Like this is not just one village; it's like multiple places all over Austria, Germany, Switzerland. So all the cows will come down, and then you follow them, to this big field, and then there's music and food, and then you get to pet the cows. You can flip the picture.
Oh, okay.
I'll do a little.
And there I am, petting the cows. And it was like insane. Like they were right there, and they had like rings in their noses, and the flowers, and the bells, and it was raining, and I had a jean jacket on, and that was a whole mess. And and I remember
My shoes were ruined.
Yeah.
They were a disaster because of the
Yes.
rain, the cow muck.
Yeah.
Oh,
And I remember because this is my first time abroad, I'm like, I just have to stay with Gina and Roger. Just stay with them. And like, you guys are my beacon. Like, wherever you are, that's where I need to be. Because I'm so like overwhelmed. There's so many people, so many cows. It was crazy.
yeah. But it's really a festival.
Yeah.
The cows are in the field right there, right next to the field's huge tent with the oompah bands, everything that you can picture, right?
Yeah.
And then the food. It's like, you could equate it to going to the fair here. They've got their all the different foods that you can buy. They were making fresh spätzle, right?
Yes,
and right there in
yes.
a big vat right in front of you. They're melting, of course, fondues and everything.
Yeah.
All in celebration for the cows. And this goes on usually the first 2 weeks of September.
Yeah.
Hence
yeah.
the timing of the affair.
And it's Spätzle.
Spätzles. Mhm.
It's like macaroni and cheese.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A little. It's Austria and German's version of pasta.
Okay.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
they do. It's just little pasta balls doused in cheese.
Yes. And it was the first thing I bought, and I was still figuring out euros. I thought it was going to be way intense than it was, so I just gave them like, I don't know, is this enough? And they're like, there you go. Anyways. And then, so that was a very fun day. And then I think after that, we went to visit the castle, the famous castle.
We did, which we'll touch on when we get back
Yes.
to Bavaria
Okay,
later.
Yes, yes.
Mhm.
So then after this, go ahead and switch where are we at. Oh, look at that. Isn't that the most beautiful
That
thing
is
you've ever
not a
seen?
screensaver.
It's
That
not
is
a screensaver.
real photo.
And that is not Instagram highlighted.
No,
this is
that's
without
it.
filter. No hashtag no filter.
With, like, through the bus window,
I was
too.
gonna say I see a reflection of the phone there.
So we flew into Munich, and then we took a 2-hour bus ride to
Lermoos.
Lermoos, Austria, and the mountains were right there, and it was the most beautiful thing ever. And it started to rain. There were rainbows. It was like you couldn't have written a better story. It was amazing.
Yeah.
And then
So the mountain range here, right?
Yeah.
Was our first stop, the big famous Zugspitz mountain.
yes, which is the tallest peak in Germany. It's between Austria and Germany, and then it is 2,962 meters, or in feet, it is 9,718. But we're in the metric system, right?
Exactly.
And it has 3 glaciers, and it's really cool because there used to be a border checkpoint on the top of the mountain.
Crazy.
And then now that everyone's like a visa-free zone, we don't have to do that anymore.
Yeah.
And there's Gina and Roger, and it was
A blizzard.
yes.
We were down below just in it was like a cool fall day, but then you go up that high on a gondola, which holds 200 people per car, and there's only 2 towers the whole way up, suspending it. It's like a engineering marvel to get up here. We get up there, we can't see a thing. So we did not see 4 countries normally. We get up there, you can see Austria, Germany, France, and I think a little bit of Switzerland. Oh no, we saw about 20 feet ahead of us. It was a whiteout, but it was
so
very
cool,
cool.
too.
We never get this. All of us from San Diego were like,
You couldn't get me back inside. I was like the last one. I remember they were the little snow machine.
Yes.
They were pushing, and you're like trying to get it. I'm like, it's fine.
and he's blowing snow on you.
Was the gondola scary?
It was super scary.
Oh god. I don't even like
Oh gosh.
They even had a glass, little square that you could
to look down and
No, thank you.
Yeah, so you're going up and you're like, everything's fine. We're gonna be okay. Nobody move. And then when it hits the tower,
Like the little whoosh.
it does a whoosh,
yeah.
and we all go woo. And I'm like, oh no, thank you. Nope, we're not doing that. Okay, what's the next photo? I think we're on cheese day now.
Yes, are we
Before.
going to cheese? Let's go to Switzerland.
Yes, so that's the first
Yeah.
cheese on the plate, Challerhocker. So it is spelled CH, but you don't pronounce the C. So Challerhocker.
The names are on the lid too if you want to see how it's
Yes,
spelled.
yes. And then there's a little fun sticker on the lid of a creepy looking child, which is on the label, which you'll see it on your sticker on the plate, and this is the actual half a wheel of Challerhocker.
What you see there in the picture.
Oh, yes. Oh, gosh. Okay, we're okay. And basically, it translates to sitting in the cellar. It's a small cheese producer in Switzerland, and Walter Ross, is that how you say his last name? Is the maker, he's a master cheese maker. He used to make Appenzeller for 27 years, and then when the cheese laws changed in Switzerland, he was able to experiment. He started making Challerhocker, and it's a lot different than Appenzeller. Like, it's cooked, it's heated differently, it's aged longer, and he originally used Jersey cows instead of the brown Swiss cows, because the Jersey cows are higher in fat in their milk. So he was just playing around, and he came up with the star. It's amazing.
It's such a good cheese.
super
And I think the next picture is a picture of Walter, if I'm recalling.
there's Walter,
There's this cheesemaker.
And it was,
Yeah.
it was cool. He brought us in, and we got to see how the cheese was made. And we're in this little back
Tiny
room.
facility, right?
Yeah.
They're making the cheese.
Super tiny. Oh, and then he's holding some rennet, which, if you remember, that's what you need to coagulate milk to make cheese.
Yeah.
curds, right?
I never knew what it looked like
Yeah.
in practice.
In practice, same. And the traditional method is to have this dried stomach.
So it's a dried stomach.
That's a dried stomach, and he had cut it into strips. So he had a bowl of strips, and then he would just throw a strip into the vat, and that was enough rennet in that strip for the vat. So that stomach could do
Does it get
a
strained
lot
out, or does it
gets strained
dissolve?
out?
Okay.
It's strained out, but all the chemicals that are in that just naturally,
my
it's
God.
magic of science.
Yeah.
Coagulate the milk, etc. So that is true old world source of rennet that we've talked about so much in the past. And when you see that on your a label, you know that they're using this traditional method.
Yes.
Of course, they come in liquid and tablet form now, but he's old school.
Yes.
And
and he's super involved in the cheese making process. He even puts the labels on the cheese like himself.
Yeah.
Which I don't know if there's
Our
a picture.
Instagram has the
the
video.
Instagram shows it.
of that.
And I asked for a label for my own personal
You
cheese
did get
code,
it.
and I
He
did
gave
get
you one?
He
He
did,
did?
yeah. I have like a legit, unused,
You have to
Challerhocker.
frame it.
I am.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
Really,
It's
really
cool.
cool.
Yeah.
So cool.
I asked Gene, I'm like, is it weird if I ask him? And she's like, no, he'll do it. And then he did. He's like, oh yeah. Like he didn't even hesitate. Like I'm like, am I not the first person to
To ask for this?
I would
Am I the
never think to
geekiest
do that.
one? Yeah.
Because they were just like in a stack, and I'm
It's
like,
just paper. Like
yeah.
The next one shows, I think, the aging room, and you can see how many wheels that he's got. So the ones near Christina on this side are very young. You can see they're very light in color, but then the ones on my side here that are very darker, those are aged longer. As they age, they're developing that natural thick rind.
They're taller too.
Mm-hmm.
Before they kind of
Yes,
shrink
because the ones on the have shrunk because the moisture is going away. What you can't see on the very end was the machine. There's a machine that the wheels, it brines them, it takes them off of a shelf, takes them down, it runs across this little brush system where it gets brushed and brined and washed, and then flipped, and then whoop, back on the shelf it goes.
It's really cool.
So it's just
my
crazy.
God.
There is some modernness to cheese making,
Yeah.
but really in the aging process. Everything else he did was really old world by hand.
Yes.
And the source of the milk, about 3 blocks.
Oh,
from,
yeah.
not
we
even
walked.
blocks
We
if
were
you call it.
able-
We
yeah,
walked.
We walked.
With the distance, what I would say is maximum of 3 San Diego downtown city blocks was his field of cows.
Yeah.
Gorgeous. Yeah.
Yeah, and it was really cute because after we went to the dairy, we got coffee with him, and we were just sitting in a little cafe having coffee, and then we went and visited the where they aged the cheeses, and then we had a raclette lunch. And did we have a video?
Yeah.
Yes, we're going to reconnect. But wasn't it cool to see old world stuff? And then that coffee place was so modern.
Yes.
Like very
It was a-
modern.
it was a balance,
beautiful.
yeah.
Oh, here we go. It's working.
Oh, here we go. So there's like potatoes and pears and corn and peppers and 3 different types of cheese. So you don't have to just use raclette. Who's Gina? So cute. And I wish we captured the view. It like Switzerland is shades of blue and green I've never seen before. It's like so beautiful. It's like a filter but no filter. It was gorgeous. And I did want to say, so Challerhocker is aged 10 months, which is a lot different than the other cheeses on the plate. So I think that's important to note. And they get their milk delivered twice every single day, except for 1 day out of the year. I don't know what that day is. Christmas, maybe? I don't know.
Maybe,
I don't
right?
know. And they bring the milk however way they can bring it there. So tractors, wagons, a car, a motorcycle, whatever. And I think that's, it's so cute. It's just like, we're all working together.
Yes.
So this is all happening in 1 day. So we visit Challerhocker, and then we go have this amazing raclette lunch, and then we go to, is the area called Appenzeller?
There is.
Okay.
The whole region is called Appenzeller, and the cheeses that they make
Right.
called Appenzeller.
Yes. Can you go back a photo? Thank you. So before we visited the next cheesemaker, which is the next cheese on the plate, so on the top right is the black label, and on the bottom right is the silver label. So the top one is aged a little bit longer than the one on the bottom. I think.
Oops, I went around. There we go.
Yes, there we go. So we'll get more into details about the cheese, but I just want to take you through the day as if you were there. So we met, I forget his name, I'm so sorry, the gentleman who works for Appenzeller.
Yes. Why am I drawing a complete blank?
Mr. Appenzeller
Mr.
brought
Appenzeller.
us up to this mountain, and it was incredible. And just, we were up there, they were playing the Alpenhorn or something.
Yes.
And we're on top of this mountain, and they're playing local music, and the view, and you could see all the different Italy. I think you could see.
Yes,
maybe.
because
It was crazy. It was the most beautiful thing I've ever seen in my whole life. And I FaceTime my honey at like 3 in the morning.
you
And I was
gotta
like,
see this.
yeah,
You gotta see this.
So,
the Alpenhorn is seriously, Sarah. You can picture the Ricola commercials. Ricola,
Oh my God.
the
Yeah.
big long horn that they're standing up and that is real.
Yes.
And they were playing at the top of the
Crazy.
gondola.
stunning.
This is nuts.
Yeah. So you can see how green the grasses are. This is what the cows are eating.
Yeah, it's almost like neon green, isn't it?
It's very, very good. And it reflects in the cheese. The Appenzellers are a great, fun tasting. How many Appenzellers did we try? There are
There's a lot.
12 different
Yeah.
ages
The
and
purple
types.
label.
Yeah.
That's what I want to
We're
remember.
going to talk about the purple label, yes. So,
We can't get it.
No.
no. You are
Sorry.
So,
I'm here for nothing. I'm here to do the video.
we get to, so Appenzeller is a much larger producer, and it's like, not the Disneyland, it felt like it's kind of corporate-y, but it's beautiful and it's fun. So as soon as you get there, you have these giant wedges of cheese greeting you, and these are all the different styles, so just for fun. The first one is the black label, the second one's the purple label, and the last one is the silver label. So we are trying the first one and the last one, but they have a bunch of others. And there's like a cheese playground, there's a gift shop, there's a restaurant, and you go to all these rooms and teach you about the traditional clothing that the cheesemakers, like the herdsmen, wear. It was fun. It was cool.
And on your plate, what you can kind of tell is the texture of the two Appenzellers are very different. The younger one's very bendy, pliable. It has a little more holes in it. And you can just go like this, and this is your younger cheese.
Age 3 months, yes.
3 months, so just 3 months. As opposed to its elder sibling, a lot more firm.
6 months.
6 months.
Yeah.
Think of that.
And
Crazy.
and less fat in the younger one. It's 45% fat, and then the older one, the black label, is full fat. And and there's differences in flavor. I feel like the younger one's mild, creamy. The extra age one's gonna be more sharper, like robust. I think we use the word zesty. Like
Zesty's
yeah,
good.
yeah.
I like. You got to try it, everyone, with that plum horseradish. It's so delicious, so delicious.
I love
that.
Mustard.
And the mustard
Right
too.
in.
Have you tried it yet with the stroopwafel?
I haven't opened my stroopwafel.
Okay, everybody, open your stroopwafel now. The stroopwafel is just a cookie with caramel inside, and you do it with the Appenzeller and stuff. I mean, it's like a caramel. I don't know, a caramel apple-y. It's just an apple pie flavor, and the two together like this is heaven.
I just want to check in. Is there any questions or anything that I need to go over? Because I'm super
Everybody's
excited.
just eating.
We're just eating.
I think everyone's just eating and having a great time.
Yay, good. Okay, now there is another cheese, that purple label cheese, which was the most amazing cheese I've ever had. And I was very sad to find out that it's not offered in the United States, but when it is, we're going to have a purple label Appenzeller release party.
Release
Yep.
party.
Yep.
A purple.
Purple rain. It's like purple something. We have to have purple something.
Yes.
Mm.
I bought a bunch of wedges and I was going to bring them back, but then
But
I
you
got
ate them.
scared. I wish I could. I can't eat them with cheese. But I got scared, which I'm really glad, because when I came back, Customs was letting everyone go, and then for some reason she looked at me, she goes, "You, come here," and I'm like, "Well,
What did I do?
And so she went, she goes, "You have anything?" And I go, "No." And she's like, "Are you sure?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I'm sure." And she's like, "You don't have a half-eaten sandwich in there?" And I'm like, "Why would I have a half-eaten? No, I don't." And then she went through all my stuff. She was so sure I had something, and I didn't, but I thought about it. So she must have just read it.
Okay, so mine was, I was worried of smuggling in because I brought back schnapps, cheese, speck, everything,
Which is
right?
So good.
So good. And it's
my
packed
stuff.
in. But what did I get busted? I was going through the little machine at the gate, and it's like, oh, I'm going to be busted with all that stuff in there. And my bag comes out, I'm like, okay, but my purse doesn't. And then I get a, whose is this? I'm like, oh, mine is my purse. I'm like, but I don't have anything in there. I got busted for an apple. She's like, I put an apple in my bag thinking I would eat it on the plane, and I didn't. She's like, can I see your passport, please? For an apple. So I've been flagged. I'm in the system. Apple girl.
You have to have Roger carry all your stuff.
Yes,
I know, that's what I'm
yes,
doing.
Pack it in his bag.
Yeah, I'm gonna do it.
No, that's his.
Gonna do it. I don't know.
That's so funny.
Yeah.
So what's the
Appenzeller.
next photo by chance? I forget.
It's this one.
Oh, okay. So that was cool. So we'll talk. I want to talk about why Appenzeller is super special. So they use this special secret brine that is a mixture of. I have it labeled here.
We have that little packet.
Yeah, it's in front of the
Oh.
Appenzeller. If
Yeah.
you want. Oh, and then if you want to hold up the.
Thank you.
Mystery hand.
Yes, the mystery hand comes. Yeah, they have a
So-
special brine
Yes.
with herbs in it.
Yeah.
I didn't know what it was. You gave it to me, and I was like, "Oh,
What
look
is
at
this?
Fromage. I'll use this in cooking." Like, then
just
I
making
found out.
tea with
no.
You could.
Yeah.
Yeah. So there's cloves, tarragon, juniper, rosemary, sage. There's also going to be white wine when they make the brine, but it's top secret. There's only 2 people in the whole entire world who know the recipe,
Yeah.
and the recipe is in a lockbox in a Swiss bank account or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And I think I just love that top secret.
The
stuff,
mystery.
The mystery, yeah, and that is
Yeah.
what makes Appenzeller.
Mhm.
It's a secret.
So good.
Yes.
It's a melter. It's an eater. It's
Mhm.
it's everything. I love it.
Yeah. And so so we did the tour in the Appenzeller place, and then afterwards we went to go do the dinner, and then they did kind of like another tour, but like a PowerPoint. But it was cute because it was like a lot of the same stuff like I already knew.
Yeah.
And so I'm like, well, I really am going to know all this. And then we had the dinner, and this family,
Oh.
it was a father and his 3 kids, and they played like Austrian, local, or
Mhm.
Switzerland.
Yes, with exactly
Alps.
traditional,
Yes,
yeah,
traditional
folk
music.
music.
Yeah.
And she's playing a dulcimer there. The gal on the right there, the girl, she is hammering that thing. Wish you could get sound, just so you could understand the beauty of what she's playing. And of course, the accordion, the bass, the violinist was amazing. But just a little family affair, and they entertained us for hours while we were eating melted Spätzle, Appenzeller
Yeah.
on the Spätzle.
Yeah.
I have so much Spätzle in ate my weight in
Yes,
Spätzle.
yes.
Yeah.
But you always had the salad
tradition.
before. It
Always
was
the salad.
Always the salad, and then it kind of balances
Yeah.
out.
Yeah.
And they were so nice. I remember they were just so well spoken and nice and polite, and I'm just like,
Yeah.
They speak English.
yeah. And that was something I was really nervous about. Was like, do I need to learn like the language? And like everyone speaks English, and it was really cool. And I wish it was the other way around here, like that we speak languages too, like because they go to school and learn it, and here, and in San Diego you learn Spanish and French. But I'm like, I want to learn German, and I want to learn.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. So traditions still hold true there. You do
Yes.
see that culture,
Yes.
and
Yeah.
it just makes then the cheese special, and then the region special.
yes.
Yeah.
So
So
these 3 cheeses on the plate are all great examples of Alpine
Yeah.
style cheeses. They're always going to be made with raw milk. They're always going to be, usually they're larger wheels in larger format. They don't have very much salt in them, and it's usually because traditionally they were made up in the mountains, and it's hard to bring the salt up the mountain, and then it's easier to bring a larger wheel down instead of a bunch of little wheels. So I love the details, like stuff like that. And then the jam I think was really good with the Challerhocker.
Oh,
when I
it was
tasted
so good.
Yeah, was it close? Did you think so?
Yes,
Yeah.
and that was a dinner of regional things. You know, that was the breakfast where everything was made with things that were grown and right there from the animals. You know, the bacon to the jams
Yeah.
was plums. You know, and stuff that they grow right there, and
Yeah.
you really get a sense of that place.
Yes, yes. And everywhere we went, I like ordered a cheese plate.
She did. She was a dedicated cheese plate tester.
Yes, and photographer. I took pictures of everything, so I was like, I am not going to forget this. And it was funny because on my Instagram, I was like, cheese plate number 1, and there was like 12 different cheese plates. And we were only there for like
9 days.
So it was cool. What else do I want to talk
Want to
about?
see the next photo?
Yeah, what is the next photo? Me.
Oh.
Wine tasting.
I mean, does it just look like? Oh.
I was like dressed to go wine tasting that day too. We went sailing, super casual. We went sailing in Switzerland on Lake Constance earlier that morning.
After the sale.
And then after the sale, we went wine tasting.
Yeah.
In
Liechtenstein.
Liechtenstein.
Population
Go back.
under 40,000 people. Could you imagine? I mean, we have buildings downtown. I mean,
With 40,000
people.
people.
And I don't know if you
So
can see
it's a
it.
tiny place.
It was super tiny, and then you could see the castle where the prince lived.
Mm-hmm.
And, it's not in this picture, but you can Google if you want to. And
This
then-
was the Prince's Vineyard.
Yes, and then you can see like the grapes and the flowers, and everyone was so well dressed. Like at the grocery store, men were in like 3-piece suits, and like women were like just like
In their dingles.
yeah,
and
it was beautiful.
Which we haven't talked about yet.
Oh.
We're gonna get there. We're gonna
Yes,
get there.
yes, yes. This is casual Sunday. This is what I wear every Sunday.
I know.
Now she's a downright German.
So what's next? Let's see.
I thought you were thinking.
Yes.
And in Austria.
The longest alpine slide in the world.
Mhm.
So after the cheese, this is just a whirlwind of like things in Europe. We went the longest alpine slide. You would go down this full speed, and there's cows, and you're like waving at the cows, and you're like, "Is this over yet?" And like you're still going, but it was so much fun.
Isn't that so fun?
I thought I was gonna
Oh
go.
my God.
I wanted to go slow,
Yeah.
but then you were like, "No, this is fun." And Roger was behind me, and I remember thinking, "It's gonna hit me! I gotta go!" It was beautiful.
Yeah, so that's Austria again, and you can see the Alps in the distance, and like she said, the cows literally were grazing right alongside the tracks.
Yeah.
The bells ringing.
Yeah, one of them was
It's-
like running down, like as you were going, like you were racing. Yeah, it was cool. And then what else did we do? I think we went. Oh, I think the next one.
Mhm.
Oh, this is in Austria. We went
Innsbruck. Mhm.
Innsbruck, and we had dinner at this beautiful restaurant. And it was raining, and it was like completely like open, like glass windows. So you're like in the storm, it's raining, you're eating this wonderful food, drinking, and then right before we went to this 360 bar. So you could see the mountains in the backyard, the churches, and Roger.
360-degree views, and it's just a really good representation of what Tyrolean city looks like,
Yes. Yeah.
which is the region of Austria and the Alps.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I really like that. I hope you go there again when you do.
Every time. I
Yeah.
loved it. I loved the drinks.
Oh, yeah.
That was my first Aperol Spritz
Oh.
ever in my life.
Oh,
was
really?
20 years ago. Well, no, not this time. Like
Oh,
20 years ago, but
got
at
it.
this bar. Yeah. So this bar's been a favorite
worried
for
for you.
20 plus years. Yeah.
If I ever go back, and that was the first, like that's when I really felt like I was in Europe. There's like cobblestone
Yes.
streets, and like there's a river, right?
Uh-huh, the inn.
Yeah, and oh, and then I went to a cheese shop and bought cheese that we can't buy here. And
Yeah.
I was like buying all the raw milk cheese and just eating it in the
Raw.
hotel.
Did you tell the difference?
No.
Yeah.
But I don't.
You should have said
but
yes.
maybe, but I think I wasn't buying the right cheeses because I was overwhelmed.
Well,
I didn't know what to buy.
the soft cheeses. If you buy unpasteurized soft cheeses, we get unpasteurized cheeses here.
Right, but like I wanted like I don't remember what.
Like a camembert style that you buy in
Yeah, I
England,
just like things I didn't know
Mhm.
that like I read that you couldn't
Oh,
get
okay.
here.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, but it was delicious. It was delicious, but
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
so cheese here is delicious too. But like it's all delicious. It's all delicious.
Mm-hmm.
Next photo. What else did we do?
Yes, boss.
I went paragliding, y'all. It was just me and Roger's sister went on the trip too, and we were only the 2 people out of 22 that were brave enough, and it was delayed a couple times, and every time I was like, oh, and like I was excited, but like kind of relieved and like sad all at the same time.
Yeah.
And then it happened, like it goes by so quickly, and you don't even have time to be scared. And it was like you're a bird. And
Yeah.
I did trip because you're supposed to like run fast, and then he's like, when you stop running, like run fast. When I tell you to stop, you stop. And then I'm like, yeah, I got this. I didn't have it. I tripped, and then I could tell he was like, oh my god, this girl. And then we get up, and everything's fine, and it was beautiful and lovely.
Yeah.
And,
Did you love the training that you went through to do this?
what training? There was no training. He didn't even introduce himself. I'm like, hi, I'm Christina. I'm like super eager, right? I'm like super excited.
Yeah.
And he's just
Yeah.
like, put this on. When I say run, you run. When I say
Yeah.
stop, you stop. And I'm like,
No waiver. No.
yeah, no, yeah.
You didn't do it?
I've done it before.
Oh,
so.
okay. I'd be too scared.
Yeah, he didn't even know
You
my
gotta
name.
do it.
Oh my
You do
god.
it.
Yeah.
If I close my eyes,
Like the whole time.
I was worried about my shoes falling off, to be honest. Like little slip-ons. I was like, how much is a shoe?
Yeah.
And then it was really cute because then when it comes time to land, you're supposed to like run in place and then you hit the ground. He told me, he goes, just lift up your legs, I'll do the landing. Because
After that takeoff, we're
which was
just gonna.
fine, which was fine. And it's really cute because His husband took a video, and all you hear is the wind blowing, and then when I land, all you hear is my giggle. Like, so perfect. It was super cute. And then, what else did we do?
Highly recommend that.
Yes,
If you're gonna
please,
go
please do.
sailing. Okay, this is the Tyrolean house. Okay, can you
That was
agree?
beautiful.
You don't. The flowers are real. When you see these pictures, never seen so many flowers as this house. This one was crazy, but most houses and all the businesses have these flowers.
Yeah.
What kind of flowers are they?
Geraniums, I think they are. I think
Yeah.
it's called a geranium, right?
Yeah.
We have them here. They're
Yeah,
just not so full, you know, because they get so much more rain and everything. But it's a beautiful thing. That's a typical Tyrolean house.
Yeah. That's so yeah.
Yeah.
It was beautiful. And I think this is we went to an apple farm.
And the schnapps farm.
Oh.
The schnapps maker.
Which
Which I finised a bottle and a half already.
Really? That's cool. It was gorgeous.
Shocking, right? No.
Oh, and everyone was so kind. The lady at the apple farm made us homemade apple desserts to like welcome us to her farm, and I'm like, I will take 2 of everything, thank you. Like you, like and apple wine and
Apple wine. Remember the pigs? She
Oh,
had pigs
yeah.
because they make speck.
yeah,
So they had the pigs.
which was very bittersweet because you're just like, oh, pigs, oh, this got dark real quick.
yes.
Okay, but
Puts it into perspective
Yeah.
of what,
yeah,
Mhm.
but it's still beautiful. Like everything, like they grow, like it had like a 200-year-old tree of
pears.
pear tree.
Mhm.
And then she let us pick apples off of the vine or whatever it's called, and it was tree.
Yeah.
Yes.
Tree.
I need more water. Okay. That was super special.
Yeah, but
Alright.
it's a beautiful thing for sure. Oh, off to Salzburg.
Yes. Which I learned on the trip. So Salzburg is famous for salt, and then you get that in like things that have salt in it, like salami, Salzburg.
Yes.
Salzburg.
Yeah.
What else was there?
Bath salts, I got some bath bombs.
That's salt.
Yeah.
And whenever you see the word sale, you know, fleur de sel is sale.
Yes,
It's
yes,
a version of
yes,
salt.
yes.
It just means salt.
Yes.
So you
yes.
see it in so many words.
Yeah.
But Salzburg is special. Yeah.
Yeah, and it was a completely different vibe from Innsbruck, but still beautiful and fun. And everyone's up late at night, and it was.
And again, the cobblestone streets. It's all the quintessential. Now's the time someday to go to a Christmas market in some of these little medieval like villages, because this is a medieval castle that it sits above Salzburg. That's a famous place. Where we got to go one night and listen to a Mozart concert in a castle that Mozart himself played at.
Yeah,
So
it was
we were
really
in a
fun.
room that Mozart once performed in, and I mean, can you feel that history? It was really special.
It was really, really special.
Yeah.
And then, I have a picture. It's not on the slideshow, but we're like somewhere near the top, and you can see the view of the city at night, and like there was like cannons up in the portholes.
Yeah.
It was beautiful.
Yeah, so great.
Yeah. And we also did a cooking class in
That's right.
Salzburg
Learn
too.
to make apple strudel.
Yeah, and dumplings.
Sarah, you would love it. The fresh dough and dumplings. Yes,
Yes.
I made it in culinary school.
Yes.
It's like the coolest thing.
Yes, to
Yeah.
get it so thin
Like
and
stretched over the table.
stretch,
Yeah.
from corner to corner. Crazy what dough can do.
I know.
Right? Yeah.
My teacher was Austrian, so it was.
Oh, that's
How perfect,
Yeah.
right? Perfect. The building we were in, which was it was cave walls, right? And it had been a security checkpoint building in the military way back,
Yeah, that
World
makes
War
sense.
One, because it was right by this little entry to the city, and where we were making the strudel was this historical little place. Cave, crazy, yeah. Again,
It was beautiful.
they're old countries, so they have old history, and so that makes it something that we don't have. Makes
Yeah.
it very cool
Yeah.
to see.
Yeah.
Did you eat cheese with the strudel?
No, we didn't.
We
We
did
should
not.
have.
Or,
We
you
should
know.
have.
He was a traditionalist. I think he'd have dropped dead if we just said, "I'm sorry, could we please put cheddar or could we please put cheese in our apple strudel?" He would have been a 9.
Yeah.
9. It's not how it is. He was a pretty traditional guy.
He was.
But we could change that. Go to Salzburg, start our own place with all this random
Our own little food truck,
little
late night.
food trucky thing, plum jelly.
I'll go.
Strudel
I'll go
with-
for Benicio.
You'll do it. You'll
I'll
take
do
one
it.
for the team.
I'll take one for the team.
You can't have the time.
9 is the word. 9 is the
Nine.
just 9. 9. That was one of our cheese shops because we did visits to try to find as many cheese shops as we could.
So that's me and Gina in the
Oh, it's a tough one. Garmisch-Partenkirchen.
Yeah.
Just rolls off the tongue.
GAPA, if for short. If you're in the know, it's GAPA.
I
Yeah.
believe that's where the 1936 Winter Olympics.
The Winter Olympics were, and we went to the bottom of the big ski jump, and we're standing in the plaza where I guess if you go online, again, you stood where Hitler once stood, because he was there having meetings in Garmisch-Partenkirchen, and we kind of stood, we were right there.
Yeah,
History
it was
again.
heavy. And I thought it was really interesting where you would see statues and you could tell that they were holding something once upon a time, and those things that they were holding, like they got rid of all that. It was like, you know, the Nazi stuff. And,
Yeah.
And but it's just so incredible to see like history, because it wasn't that long ago, and then you're like modern buildings all around, and it was crazy. But it was a cute little town with the roads, and we visited a church, and we went to a beer hall, and that was a fun day.
Yeah. And the next little shop you went to, this was, I think this was Salzburg on the next picture. A pop-up, look at the truck.
The farmers market in Salzburg was insane. They had full-on butchers, cheese, fruit, vegetables, pretzels, like 20 different types of pretzels. It was like insane, and I wish I had more time so I could buy everything, but that wasn't gonna work. But it was beautiful. It was
Or more
really fun.
suitcases.
Yeah, more, yeah.
When are we opening our cheese and charcuterie truck?
Right, talk to Roger. Roger, we need a truck.
That's
Just
on
like
my
this.
list.
Yes.
Pop it up.
Yeah.
Drive around.
That would be so cool.
Yeah. Wouldn't that be good? We could have cheese music or cowbell. Instead, you know, the ice cream truck had the little ice cream truck
Oh,
sound.
like cowbell.
We could just have cowbell.
Oh my god.
Yeah, we're onto something.
Yeah.
All in favor?
I
100%. Very good, very good.
And I think the
So
next
now we're off
part
to-
is like the biggest, one of the big. There's lots of highlights, but
Next photo.
I think so. I hope
Yeah.
so. You timed it right.
So, getting back to Bavaria,
Yes.
which is Bavaria is like a state. Like California is to the US, Bavaria is to Germany. And Bavaria is the home of the most famous castle in the world, Neuschwanstein, which we visited. Crazy King Ludwig lived here. And this is just outside of Munich, hour and a half. And we visited there, you know, to learn a little bit about the region and get ready for Oktoberfest.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
I think the next one is a video.
Oh,
no?
yeah, here.
Yeah, Sarah's going to try to cue it up. Oktoberfest, the biggest party in the world. 6 million people come through
Yep.
every year in a 2-week period
Yep.
to eat and
Oh,
drink.
here we go.
And
There
you
we
can
go.
see what happens when people
Yes.
drink a lot.
2 million gallons of beer is consumed in that 2-week period.
How much did you have?
I had only, because I'm a lightweight, I had like 1.5 steins, but that was all I needed.
That's pretty good.
Yeah,
for-
they're big
Mhm.
and expensive.
You drank 1.5 steins?
Over like a 5, 6, however
Okay.
long period.
Hours.
Yeah. And it was so, I was dancing on the tables, girl, let me tell you. It was something.
It's good. And Christy, do you
I was
have-
in a conga line.
Oh
my god.
the stuff that goes on.
Yeah, right? After
And
hours.
After hours, all the ages, didn't you love that? Like you would see kids in there on the tables dancing, and 80, 90-year-old grandmas on the table
Yes.
dancing. And nobody minds if you fall off the table. You just pick them
No,
back up. It's
they
all
don't.
good.
I
It's
can tell you
fine.
that they don't.
No worries.
They
Did
help
you fall?
I fell. My phone fell. We all fell. We all fell. But and we went to, I think, so it was really cute. So I went on the tour on the second to last night. My fiance came and joined me, and so he was my Oktoberfest escort. And it was fun. We visited like several tents, and we met people from France, because you're sitting at tables with strangers, and we met some
In
locals.
Japan, you met someone from Japan, I thought? Or somebody.
Oh, we
there's
did
people from all over,
at
yeah.
the other beer hall.
Mm-hmm.
We went to so many beer halls. Yeah. And that was, and she came by herself. She was all by herself.
It's so good because you can meet so many people. Just to give you a scope, that tent probably held about 5,000 people, and they've got maybe the tents might have multiple bands in it because they're so big. You won't
Yes.
hear one end to the other,
Yes.
so you could have 2 bands in a tent because they're so big. So much food. They use real glassware. It's no
Yes, and
plastic
the
utensils.
women are
and-
holding, and men, they're holding huge like steins, like 20 of them, and they're like, "Whoa, there's your beer," and you're like, and you're like 2 hands. So
He's like, I can barely lift it with the,
Uh-oh, Christina, Captain Nemo says I witnessed the fall.
Oh,
Uh-oh.
yeah. I did not witness the
You
fall,
didn't.
so.
We're like, bye, Gina. Yeah. So let's take a moment to talk about the cheese dip.
Yes.
If you've ever been to a festival,
Mine's
a
not.
beer garden.
You're like, I can't talk about it.
It's so good.
It's yum, right?
Oh my gosh.
So this is a very
Mine
traditional cheese. Everywhere we went in Bavaria
Everywhere.
had this dip. So I believe you can use a camembert or a brie. You use like something like a cheese, a soft cheese, and then you use something spreadable like a butter. I think some recipes call for a cream cheese, and then you can add onions and paprika.
Paprika gives it the color, the paprika.
And then you serve it with onions, radishes, pretzels, mustard.
And
And
then
then
of that thing.
Yeah,
Right?
you
It's
it.
so good.
It's sneaky, but it's good. And then you can see, like there's two piles, but everywhere we went.
Everywhere. That's
This
like
is-
the tradition.
Yeah, this is cheese plate number 11.
Yeah.
In my
It's
list.
like we put brie maybe on everybody likes brie on the plate.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Everybody wants the Obatzda on the plate.
What was that item next to it? Because
So that's like aspic
Mm-hmm.
with the meat bits inside and vegetables. That one had vegetables too.
Oh.
So you'll see all meat or meat and vegetables or all vegetables. That was a combo.
And this is
I was
speck.
gonna say, is that
And
the
that's
speck?
speck.
Speck.
Voyagers in the middle.
Yes. Yeah, and we can talk about that while we have the photo up. So this is a semi-dried sausage, traditionally made in Germany, Austria, and Switzerland, and it's a popular snack food. It kind of looks like the Slim Jim on your plate.
I ate them.
Okay.
Me too. We're all sorry we ate them.
So did I.
Maybe they're already gone too. And so they're great for like hikers, and I think they called it a hunter's like meat too, because
Yeah.
hunters would take it.
Jaegers.
Soldiers, it was just a source of protein, and it keeps.
Yeah.
And then the other meat on the plate. Oh, and then this it's made out of beef, pork, large sugar, red wine, and spices. And then the other meat is called summer sausage. It's German style. It has mustard seed, coriander, allspice.
It's so good with the mustard. Of course.
Yes.
I
Yes.
love that summer sausage.
Yes. And it's cool because the summer sausage is almost kind of like softer.
Doesn't it taste like a holidays because of those spices in
Because
it?
of the warm spices.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. It's really good with like a pickle and a funky Swiss cheese. Like
Ooh.
that was so popular that we did at Liquid City. The little taco bite was a Cornichon, the Blumenkost, like another
Yes.
Swiss cheese, and then the summer sausage.
Oh,
That makes sense.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
totally.
all together.
Yeah.
But this Obatzda, this is probably one of my first cheeses because my mom used to make this. Gert used to make this all the time as we were kids,
Really?
and I just thought this was cheese. You know, this is cheese and we had it all the time.
It's so good. I
Yeah.
think we could sell it.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Is it kind of their version of a pimento dip?
That's what
I mean,
that's
really,
exactly
really,
what I
truly
said.
is.
I was
Yeah.
like, so it's like pimento cheese, and Christina's like, not really, and I was like, yeah,
Yeah, kind of.
kind of, but
I was trying to
better.
keep it special. Super
No, but
special.
Yeah, I think it's
this
better.
is
It's
still
more
like
zesty. I don't know.
She's using nice.
Mm-hmm.
What'd you use? Moses sleeper.
I use Moses sleeper, so like
Okay.
not too stinky of a. You could use a camembert and really stink it up a little. You know,
But
get it
I
out.
think it was delicious.
But I love it with the radish, and you
Yeah.
always had it with radishes.
Always. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. And then green
Oh.
onion on top.
Mhm.
Yeah. And
All
then-
good.
Oh, a
Yeah,
fun
that's
fact
it.
about that summer sausage: it's fermented, cured, and smoked.
I have that in my notes.
And so it's meant to summer sausage is called summer sausage because they needed a way to preserve the sausage so they can serve it when they didn't have refrigeration. Like they need to keep it so that way. Called summer sausage.
Did they make it in the summer or eat it in the summer?
Both.
Yeah.
They wanted something
Something that would
Yeah.
hold through the summer. Yeah.
that would last through the summer. Yes.
There we go.
Yes,
Because
yes,
there's it's warm in the summer.
Yeah.
yes. Correct. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Yeah.
What's the last photo? Oh, I want to talk more about Oktoberfest too.
Yeah,
Yes,
that's why
Oktoberfest.
I was doing this.
Yes.
Oh, that's where we had pork knuckle.
The knuckles, the
Yeah.
Hoxenbauer. There's
Oh, there we
Christina
are.
with her two
That's a big
listed.
beer, I'm telling you. And there's all that foam.
And we have to say hi to Gretchen and Janet who are online that joined us on the
Hi,
voyage.
guys.
Had so much fun with you ladies.
Yes.
So much fun. Yeah.
This is gonna keep playing over and over.
I think there's a photo next. Oh yeah, just a
Yeah.
few.
Oh, there it is.
Look at the perspective makes the beer even look bigger.
Big in my head.
I was gonna say it's like twice the size of your head.
Yeah.
So there's 17 large beer tents, and they're not tents. And I think me and Gretchen were talking
Yeah.
about it. How we thought they're gonna be like white pop-up tents, you know, like that you see.
Yeah.
No,
Oh,
it's
no.
like think of like the San Diego Fair, Del Mar Fair, and you have like the main road with like the food vendors and other people selling their wares, And then you have like what are they called here? Like,
I feel that it's like the livestock places.
Yeah.
At the
The
Del Mar
exhibit
Fair.
halls, like
the exhibit halls.
halls.
Yeah.
That's a tent.
Yes. So this is the tent, and so they build it. Each of them. So they only serve beer that's brewed in Munich at Oktoberfest.
That is a must.
And they serve Oktoberfest specialty beers, so they're higher in alcohol content. And they build these buildings, like the breweries, just build them for Oktoberfest, like full on plywood with floors and walls and
Bathrooms.
The bathrooms are the cleanest bathrooms I have ever seen in my whole life. I just have to tell you, like, you come to festivals here and it's like a mess, but like, it was everyone so like keep it together, and it was great. And then you have the band in the middle, and women are selling pretzels, and then people are doing conga lines, and it was cool.
It is, I think, the best party in the world. There's no charge to get in. The only charge is,
that
of
was
course,
cool.
whatever you buy is going to cost you.
Yeah.
But they were all up in arms because this year a beer costed 14 euros, which is right now $14. They were kind of one-on-one, which is really nothing when you think, you know.
For that size.
For that size, I mean,
Yeah.
you're like, that's a lot of liter. That's a liter, which is how many ounces in a liter? Too many. More than for $14? You were good. Yeah.
Yes.
So it's just one of the greatest parties. And you can see all the ladies in the front there in the dirndls.
Yes.
And before we go, we're going to show you our dirndl.
Yes.
But we hope, was there any other, I think I ate everything.
Yeah, the
I don't know what
we
was
talked about
favorite.
mustard's like super popular in Germany. I just thought it was fun to talk about that they have whole grain mustard, mustard with horseradish, and mustard with like herbs in it. Like those are the three different types. Like a mustard, like what we think mustard is, like what we know it is here, like a paste. Yeah, and then they have the grain, and then they have horseradish, like super spicy. And then I also want to talk about Oktoberfest. It takes place in September, and then it ends in the first Sunday in October. So a lot of people, when I was telling, I was at Oktoberfest, and they're like, it's
In
September.
September.
I'm
Yeah.
like, that's what it really is. And
Yes.
So
Well, in the olden days, they did have it in the 1st of October. It was to celebrate a wedding way back, 800 years ago. But then they did realize that the weather started getting kind of crappy come October, so they pushed it a little bit, but so that it just ends right before October.
Yes.
Hence, though, Septemberfest doesn't ring quite as good as Oktoberfest.
no, it doesn't sound the same.
Yeah,
No.
yeah.
And did you know the tent that we were in was where the mayor comes in and starts Oktoberfest?
Oh yeah, it's very good. That's not in the
Oh,
picture.
yeah.
The
Yeah.
Schottenhammel, yes.
Yeah.
Tent. Yeah.
Yeah, so the story goes like in 1950, the mayor was on his way to Mass out in the field, and he was running late and it was raining. He's like, I gotta cut through a tent, but I have to open a keg. Here, just open it real quick, and then left, and it was in the
Schottenhammel.
Yeah, so I thought that was funny.
Then the Schottenhammel became a shooting range because that's what you need, people shooting when you've been drinking beers. But it was a shooting range tent for the longest time. Didn't see any shooting going on. Yeah.
And that's it, guys. That's all I got.
That is the Alps. So
Yeah,
you've got the
the Alps.
beauty, it's just beauty, and then you got stuff like this. But just great history. And really, then it was, for me, it was mostly the hanging out with the people. Just meeting the locals at the hotels. These are the people that are families that own it.
Our bus driver.
Philip, our driver from Czechoslovakia,
Yes.
Czech. He was
And he had 80 sunglasses. And
remember
only-
his CD was
only 2 CDs.
Twisted Sister?
Twisted Sister, I think, and Bruce Springsteen.
It was so cute.
I was gonna buy him a CD as like a thank you gift if I couldn't find CDs. And
Where do you want to
so next time,
that's a good idea.
No, there's not. No,
Yeah.
no. That was super funny.
Yeah. But really, really good. And, of course, we will do another tour next year. I think this will be an annual tour. In September. Next year it starts at September 8th. So if you or anyone you know would like to join us for the next year's adventures, by all means check it out at benissimo.com because we have tours.
Yes.
And more tours and events, Sarah. We have lots of fun things coming up.
Yeah.
Hey, come on in.
My turn.
She's like,
I get to go on a trip. I stay
It's like
here
and
work
held down the fort.
every day.
I got a gift. What did I
She
do?
never
I
left.
know, she did. She brought us a ton of gifts. I got
She did.
the mini cowbell, which I love, the Appenzeller, those spices was from Gina, but I got, you got salt in a cute little wooden barrel, some chocolate, some, where was the liquor from?
Appenzeller.
Appenzeller liquor. Lorenzo ate all the chocolate.
Oh, that's
But I did try them, but everything is great.
Yay.
But for Benissimo things, make sure you get your Stollen order in. Stollen, this Austrian holiday Christmas bread that Gert's mom used to make, and we used her famous recipe, and now we make it.
We made it. Sarah was there, and I think you posted the video too, where you're poking the
holes and putting the butter in.
It
has lots of rum-soaked fruits and lots of elbow grease. I feel like the kneading that day, my arm was like...
I was using the machine, but we could only do one batch of the machine. And poor Sarah's over there. How you doing, Sarah?
I volunteer every year. It's like I block it out, like how long that day is. But they turned out really good this year, I think.
They're beautiful. They're huge, too. They don't fit in the bag. But it's good.
That's cute.
Yeah. They're very, very good. So Stollen for the holidays. You can still get your order in for those. Yeah.
We've got some left. We just, sell till we sell out. Or we almost always sell out.
Yeah.
Coming up for Academy of Cheese on the 18th of November, we've got an Italian wine and cheese class at Quigley. You'll find all these classes on our website. Quigley is the one selling the tickets, but you'll see there is a link on our website to then go to their website to buy the tickets. On the 27th, we have Cheese Bar at Del Mar. So if you've still got people in town after Thanksgiving, you need to feed them and you need to entertain them. Cheese Bar.
That's my engagement anniversary.
Ooh.
Oh, okay. Not about you. I'm just kidding.
Like, why does that date sound familiar?
Yeah, I know that date.
But so we do a fun little happy hour themed cheese plate with a wine pairing. So it's just super casual. There's no presentation. It's just come whenever you feel like and have cheese and wine. December 6th, we have a holiday beer and cheese. So that's kind of fun. December 10th, we have a cheese plate making class paired with beer at Epic Brewing. So that's a new class we'll offer. The venue is just beautiful.
Yeah, for anyone in North County, it's great because this is in Vista, right? That way?
Yeah. So first, we do a lot of our beer stuff down south with the other shops, but now finally we're moving some stuff up here. And then on December 11th, Rachel's doing holiday cocktails and cheese. So that one will be virtual. Ooh. That one's super fun. I don't think we've come up with any cocktails yet, but we'll need some strong ones.
Yes, because again, all the relatives and the stress of the season.
Yes.
Yeah. Oh, that's so perfect. What a good lineup. Nice.
Yeah, Thanksgiving coming up. If you need cheese or you need a tray, order as soon as possible.
Yes, there really is only so much space to make big trays, and I know.
I know.
You guys.
Last year we made 80 trays on Thanksgiving. So of course we have to top last year. So our max is 100 this
You're
year.
not. That's
we haven't got there yet.
I gotta see this.
Maybe
this is amazing.
we'll see.
Yeah.
But get your orders in as soon as possible. Come pick up some cheese. We've got all of the Swissy stuff that we had on the plate.
Yeah.
We've got it here at the Del Mar shop. So.
Yeah. And I'm thinking if we can, if Rachel would oblige, we gotta show everybody our dirndls.
Oh yeah.
So dirndl is the classic, traditional German, Austrian attire, and I think we look quite fabulous in them. So Rachel, do you mind maybe, and we're gonna go over here, and you can we can show off our dirndls before we sign off. She's like, I'm out of this. You want one? You want one, Sarah?
Yes,
I don't know if she can sing. Yes. Yeah. Anything goes, but this is it.
Don't let no shoes.
Do you have any songs you can sing or dances you can do?
We can say
people what they want.
The hills are alive with the sound of music. Yay! So, what do we say? We say Dankeschön.
Dankeschön. Thank you.
God, that was good. You almost sang it out.
I almost did,
Dankeschön.
yeah.
And Auf Wiedersehen.
Ditto.
You can do it.
Say it over time.
Auf Wiedersehen.
Auf Wiedersehen.
Auf Wiedersehen.
Oh, Auf Wiedersehen.